Welcome, everyone.
Welcome, welcome.
You are listening to a short conversation podcast, a podcast where two fangirls talk about our favorite fandoms. I'm Alex,
I'm Alicia.
and today we are going to be discussing the Meadow from Twilight. This is our favorite moment from the book, from the first book. We're going to be talking about the end of chapter 12, chapter 13, and 14 and 15 today.
Yeah.
So let's.
Such a missed opportunity for the movies.
Right? I know, right? So let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
I think one of the first things to mention is this moment, this scene in the meadow, is really the moment that started Twilight.
Yes.
Yes. It's
The dream.
it's the dream. It's the dream. It's the dream that Stephanie had that made her get up out of bed and immediately write down so that she wouldn't forget it. I mean, it started, it's where it began. It's where it all started. So
who would have thought that some random person's dream would have led to you and me being friends and starting a podcast?
I know, it's surreal. It's really like you hear about moments like that spark such a huge fandom, I guess.
Yeah, like it's like such a domino effect.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible.
So good. So good. Yeah. So, yeah, so let's jump right in.
Right.
We're going to pick up the day before Bella and Edward go to the meadow. So
yes,
it is Friday. It is the last day of school for the week, and Edward is picking her up from home, and they're driving to school together.
I love how anytime she gets in his car now, he's like, "How'd you sleep?"
I know.
It's like, you would know.
Well, like as readers as someone who has read, as two people who have read this book multiple times, we know.
No, he knows.
For the last month, he has been
in her room watching her, saving her from the spiders.
right. Yes. Yes. That little moment that we get from Midnight Sun, which thank you, Stephanie.
It's so good.
So good. And so for the last month, he's been sneaking into her room, sitting in her little rocking chair, watching her sleep. And obviously, she does not know this. So it is kind of funny hearing him, how'd you sleep? And she's like, fine, how did you sleep? Which he's like, the inside joke in him.
Inside joke of, it was good.
Quiet, pleasant. I had a pleasant night. Yeah, because he knows what he's been doing. Yeah, so,
but yeah.
I will say, like, she does ask, can I ask what you did?
Yes, and he's like, no, it's still my turn.
Like, I don't want to talk about what I was doing.
I want to know about you, Bella.
Which
I do have to say, before we get into Bella's point of view, because eventually we will probably do Edward's, I do love that Bella literally skips over all of the questions he asks as if they're so inconsequential. And Edward's point of view is literally taking it all in, memorizing it, because he doesn't want to miss one detail.
Yes.
It's so
exactly. It's
good.
Like, Bella, you are special.
You are so important to him. You have no idea. Like,
no, yeah.
Girl.
Right. So he asked a lot about her mom, Renee, more about Renee. So Renee's hobby, what she and Bella would do in free time, things like that. Bella says that she talked about the one grandmother she knew, which I don't know if it was clear. Was this Renee's mom or was this?
I'm assuming this is Renee's mother because
I do.
It just doesn't feel like Bella would have known
I
Charlie's
feel,
parents.
right. I feel like Charlie's parents died when Bella was still young. So,
Yeah.
right. So I think this was the grandmother she mentions is Renee's mom, which,
Mm-hmm.
as discussed in the previous episode, Renee did not quite get along with all the time. So.
Which means Bella probably had a very skewed view of her grandmother too.
Maybe. Which one moment that I did in this line of questioning from Edward, one thing I do want to point out is the question that he asks after they talked about guys that she's dated.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "So you've never met anyone that you wanted to date?" And she is says, "I was grudgingly honest, not in Phoenix." And I
Like,
imagine like this is the moment where you do like a wink, like not in Phoenix.
wink, wink, Edward. And I love his reaction is just to press his lips together as if like I want to smile and like be like, oh,
Mhm.
guys, she
Yes,
is destined
yeah.
for me. But at the same time, it's like, ugh, I'm a monster. I'm a villain. Run, Bella, run.
Run, Bella. So, yeah, so obviously, as we said, Bella does not go into great detail of all the questions that Edward asks her throughout the day. So
No,
now they're in the cafeteria, and we get
we get another lunch with
another
Edward and Bella.
but this one is kind of special. This
It
one's
is special.
special. This one's a special lunch because
Someone who has been dying,
someone who has been
waiting.
begging to meet Bella finally gets to meet her.
Say hi.
Yes. So Alice gets to officially meet Bella, even though they are already great friends by this point.
Like in Alice's mind, they are BFFs. They're already braiding each other's hair. They're already gossiping. They're having sleepovers.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And Bella is just like, oh, okay, great.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I like how Alice kind of keeps it a little toned down during this first meeting because she's just like, it's very nice to finally meet you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she's not too crazy meeting Bella.
No, she's not. In her head, she
Not-
is.
Probably in her head. But like this isn't movie Alice meeting Bella. This is toned down like
Book Alice. This is
book Alice.
Alice was raised as a proper lady.
This isn't like I'm jumping off of a tree limb outside the window kind of thing. Just like, hi Bella.
But at the same time, it's such an Alice thing.
Very
Like,
much.
why wouldn't she do that? She's whimsical. She's so cute.
She's so cute. Absolutely.
She is this little pixie.
Yeah. Um, but because Edward is leaving early with Alice to prepare for going to the meadow on
Oh.
um Bella's gonna have to find her own way home. And so at first she's like when Edward says that he's leaving lunch early with Bella or with Alice,
Mm-hmm.
Bella's like, "Oh, that's okay. It's not that far of a walk. I can walk home." And he immediately goes,
Nah.
"I'm not gonna make you walk home. We'll have your car here.
Your truck will be
We'll have
here.
your truck here in the parking
Don't
lot."
worry about it.
He's like, she says, "I don't have my keys with me." And I think she even makes a point to think,
Where she last left
"You're
her keys.
right. I was
And it
pretty
would be in like an impossible place. Like no one would look there.
She said, "My key was in the pocket of a pair of jeans I wore on Wednesday under a pile of clothes in the laundry room. Even if he broke into my house or whatever he was planning, he'd never find it." But he seemed to feel the challenge in my consent. He smirked overconfident. And So, how do you think he got the keys? Because I would assume, like,
He's got that handy dandy, non-squeaky window.
right? Okay, yes. So I
My favorite moment is like she opens her window. Oh, it's not squeaking. Like here comes Edward with an oil can. Like just to make sure it's good.
yeah, I imagine like that's probably how he ended up doing it.
Yeah.
But like I wonder because she didn't say the thought out loud. Like I think they're in the pocket of brains from Wednesday. Like how would he know like where to go look? But I mean,
I would assume because as we learn later, vampires have very keen sense of smell. He would at least at some point have like the back memory of what her keys the metallic smells like, that he could find it.
yeah.
That's what's in my head, as
Mm-hmm.
weird as it sounds.
Honestly, at this point, reading Twilight so much and then also, you know, being a vampire girl and watching all those fantasy, all the fiction fantasy shows and reading the books about vampire characters, it's become very clear that writers who are either writing a novel, authors who are writing a novel, or writers writing scripts for a show, they've kind of made it to where nothing's really impossible for a vampire. There's always, there's always a way around things and always a way to do things that seem impossible. So, yeah, I think that is.
They're fictional creatures.
Yeah, I almost like I were.
They make the rules.
Yeah, I feel like it's. I think if I were Bella in the situation, and I'm like, this is where my keys are. How would he? I don't know how he would get to them. I'll just plan to walk home, and then after school, I walk out to the parking lot, and there, lo and behold, my truck is sitting there.
Yeah,
keys in the ignition. I would be like, of course.
of course.
Of course
Like,
he found a way.
what can't this person do?
Right. Of course he found a way.
I also love how literally no one would want her truck, that they are just like, yeah, keep the keys in the ignition. Nobody wants this old thing.
Which, in that moment, when Edward says, your truck will be here, the keys will be in the ignition, and you get the thought of, like, no one's going to steal it. No one's going to want my truck. Or maybe he makes a comment like, unless you think he said that he makes a comment, unless you think steal it, unless you think someone's going to steal it. And immediately I wrote in my notes, don't hate the truck.
Don't hate the truck.
Don't hate the truck.
I was immediately thinking, like, my first thought was Edward is so just like, he doesn't have a problem with like leaving this truck, because it's like, if someone takes it, I'll just buy you a new one. It's fine.
I'll give you my other car that's in
I'll give you one of the several cars we have just sitting in the garage. It's fine.
You want my luxury vehicle? You want the Aston Martin? I'll give it to you.
Gladly. Excuse you.
Hey, look at what cars, plural, that he gets her when she becomes a vampire.
Oh my gosh, stop. It's so...
I mean, what was it? A Mercedes? Was it the Guardian?
Yeah,
or the
Guardian.
Guardian? And then the red, was it a Ferrari?
I think it was a Ferrari.
Yeah. Like...
Yes. And it's like, money's no object to them.
Yeah. Which
Alice knows how to play the stock market, guys. Like,
absolutely.
We all need an Alice in our life.
Yeah. While we're on the subject of Bella's car, we cannot pass over the cutest moment when he leaves the be safe note in the truck. Listen, my mom got me a rear view mirror sticker that goes on your rear view. It really says drive safe. It says drive safe. I wish it said be safe, but it says drive safe.
Okay, but that's a good idea. To all those who make Twilight merch, we need a Be Safe rearview
Need a
mirror.
rear mirror sticker, yes. Because it's the cutest thing. Like, it's so simple. It's just a simple folded card that just elegant writing says "Be safe." And I'm like, I love the thoughtfulness of handwritten notes.
Stop, I do too.
So every time we get every time we get one of Edward's notes, I'm like, this is so cute. I love
know,
it.
and I'm
Because
so grateful to the shops that recreate them. Like, I
quite a
absolutely
few.
love having them.
Yes, we get quite a few of them. We get "Be Safe." We get his
Look
"Look
after my heart, I left it with you. Oh,
with note."
good.
I love it. And then the honeymoon note, which is
Yes. It's so, like,
there's just something special.
Edward is making sure chivalry is not dead.
There's just something special about a handwritten note. I mean,
Like, he is really playing into all of the dating methods he would have done as a human.
mhm,
Like, I can't. It's so good.
mhm.
Oh, Edward, you old. This is why people like old-fashioned things.
This is why the
It's
bar.
so wholesome and so cute.
He's one of the reasons why that bar is set high for boyfriends.
All right.
I
We
think
can
that,
talk about Edward's beautifulness.
so
Okay.
continue on with Alice has left to go wait by the car, and he's just saying goodbye to Bella, spending as much time as he can before he has to go. And she asks him why he's going hunting with Alice, why he's preparing for the meadow with her. And
Taking precaution.
taking
Like
precaution.
a good man.
He also says that Alice is the most supportive of his family. Which I'm thinking, like, I don't think that Esme and Carlisle are in this group, because I think they're supportive too. As out of the siblings, Alice is the most supportive of
Yes.
his attraction to Bella, his infatuation with her.
See, I was gonna say, if anyone's gunning for like the most supportive, Esme is probably in the runner. Like,
She's
she's ready
the one
for
who,
this.
like,
She's already got Bella in her like Christmas list.
she's
Getting her a sweater.
Esme is the one screaming, "Finally!"
I've got a new daughter on the way. My son is happy. Let's go.
Yes, I mean, like, what? In the next book, when they do the vote, her response is, "I already
think of you as a daughter. Like,
I already think of you as part of the family."
excuse you.
I love it.
Why would you question what I would vote? Child, you are now mine.
Yes. So I mentioned that to say that she goes on to ask Edward, "The others they don't like me," and
We know.
he responds like, "They don't understand why I can't leave you alone," and she responds with, "Neither do I. I don't understand it either," and he immediately goes to like motivator mode, or what do you call it? Just kind of like compliment mode, I guess, because he said, "I told you, you don't see yourself clearly at all."
No.
Which that's a very clear trait of Bella's from the very beginning. She does not.
You know, I completely understand Bella's point of view, and I understand Edward's point of view. Like, we are our own worst critics.
Absolutely.
We do not see ourselves, except for, in our own skewed and underappreciated way. Like, we see all the flaws.
Mhm.
Versus the people who want to be around us, who are like, no, that's all you're focusing on. You don't understand how great you are. And
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna say, like, half the time I am like always beating myself down, but then I turn around and be like, oh my gosh, everybody is so amazing. Like, don't I'm such a hypocrite.
It's easy. It's easy to compliment someone else and lift someone else up and
Yeah.
hype them up. But it's
Yes.
harder to turn it on yourself and think,
I'm amazing.
this is great. Like I'm produced like because
I am a capable human being who can do amazing things. And I
right.
have done amazing things. I mean, Edward's also in the fault of like, oh, I'm a monster, I'm a terrible person, and Bella being like, no, you're not.
So it's kind of like a double, like they're both doing it.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. They're both it
He's lifting her up, she's lifting him up, and they're constantly there's many moments through the book where they're both trying to prove to each other that they shouldn't look down on themselves as much as they do.
We love this type of communication.
Very human. It's a very human trait to
It
put.
is so human.
Yeah, it's interesting to show that even though he is a girl and he is this supernatural being, that he still has those human tendencies, those human moments throughout the book.
See, Edward, you see, not all bad,
right? I want to okay, so then I just kind of skipped to where she's out to her car. She sees the handwritten note, which I made note of because again, we love
it's the best.
We love handwritten notes around here. I want to go ahead and skip to the next morning when she's up getting ready because we both love this moment. We love
so good.
So Bella has gotten ready and she is very nervous but very eager to spend the day with Edward and to finally in a way
him
in
a new light.
See him in a new light, absolutely. So she's very eager, very nervous, but in a way, I think they both kind of know that whatever happens on this day,
change things.
Is going to change things forever. It's going to cement their relationship, whether they're going to be able to move forward or whether it's going to end badly. Whatever happens, they'll know by the end of this day that they're going to be spent. So, first of all,
I love how Edward's like prepared for the worst, and Bella's just like, it's happening.
Yes. But the fact that we start off with a comedic moment of the two of them in literal matching outfits is...
Alice had to have a hand in.
She had to!
There's no way she didn't.
I mean, when we get to, when we dive through Midnight Sun, I think we'll get a little bit more of an insight into this moment, but I vaguely remember
Alice setting out
going through, yes, because I mean,
wear this.
Right. So, I mean, it's just funny that it's either the biggest coincidence ever or it was planned by Alice.
Sorry, there's nothing in my mind that would say this is a coincidence. No, Alice is like, you guys are gonna be matching.
Love it.
I'm sorry.
Love it. So the matching outfit in question is a long, light tan sweater with a white collar, sleeveless shirt. Which is so funny. Like, I've never a collared, sleeveless, button-up shirt.
Yes.
Never.
Alice. No. Like, okay, in hindsight, I get it for females. Because, like, when you're wearing chunky sweaters, you don't want to have, like, the sleeves bunched up underneath. And you want that nice flatness. But Edward, he could have had, a short sleeve.
Yeah.
But no, his is also sleeve.
This is also sleeveless, which they paired with just blue jeans.
Oh
Bella immediately is thinking, why did he have to look like a runway model when I couldn't?
Oh my gosh. But again, I understand that. It's like, oh yes, I'm wearing the same outfit as someone else. They look so much better than me.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
And Edward's probably thinking you look utterly indecent.
That was for the
khakis.
khaki skirt.
No, tell me he's not thinking that. Anytime he sees it, he's like, I can't. You're so cute. I love you.
I would rather he say that about the khaki skirts combo than this one. Just
sleeveless?
Just have the sleeveless top because he does say that he does like the specific color blue that she had the khaki skirt. He did like that color blue on her.
That is true.
I would rather him say that about the khaki skirt situation than this.
Sorry. Oh, that khaki skirt. I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah. So they're on their way to the meadow.
We get more car bashing.
Yeah.
More truck bashing.
Don't hate the truck.
Don't hate the truck, Edward.
I wrote it down. She says, this truck is old enough to be your car's grandfather. Have some respect. And that gives the same vibe as her turning to Emmett and goes, don't hate the truck.
Because she's ready to fight people about her truck.
This truck. Like, it's
the thing. As this thing that she didn't think she would love, she would fight for. If you know, you know.
Yep. Then we get some more moments of her explaining that literally no one knows that she's with Edward today. And he is not happy about that.
No. So upset, so mad. Which, again, I can see his perspective of this. Because
it goes to him not understanding her reactions. Like she is not reacting to things or making
the way he thinks she should be.
The way that she not just the way she should be, but the way that he would expect, because he's been, he's been a vampire. He's been a vampire for almost 100 years at this point, and so not quite 100 years, but close. And so he's been able to watch many generations of humans go and their reactions, and he simply just cannot get a read on her. She never does what he would expect her to do from all his years of watching humans. And so he's just like, I feel like he's just baffled by that.
She's just got to keep him on his toes, you know?
I made a note to say, like, she's not doing this because she is trying to react humanly or, like, trying to do things the way a human would. She's simply just
being
so like, they're so they're so interested with each other that she's wanting to make things easy for him. And because he's already explained that if things end badly, it could cause some trouble for my family. Why? Like, that's the reason. That's what he says. That's the reason he gives as to why Rosalie does not agree with the relationship right now. Because if things end badly, it's not just Edward that gets in trouble; it's the whole family. It implicates the whole family. So when she told that, she immediately is like, well, I need to make things easier for him. So I need to tell Charlie that I'm no longer going to go to Seattle, that I'm going to stay home. I need to tell everyone else that I'm going to stay home and I'm not going to the dance. And that Edward's going out of town so that they don't stay together. Because if something happens to me, people will know that Edward and I were together, and they'll think that something happened. So I'm just gonna try to make things easier for him. And she's just like, I think like it's so her character to think that way though. So it was very interesting that was something I caught on to, that there were multiple moments where she's thinking of how could I make this easier for him. So
She's just always trying to protect him.
absolutely.
Because that's who she is. What a sweet girl.
Mm-hmm.
I sound so old when I say that.
I
Like,
would say,
it's crazy to think. Like, when I first read these books, I was a literal child. And now I am older than the oldest Cullen. That's a crazy thought to me. How did that happen? Oh, anyway. Meadow?
yeah. So we continue on. So they've been driving to
This trail.
this trail, but they're not taking the trail. So
How dare.
before they start heading to the trail, they continue to match because Bella takes off her sweater and wraps it around her waist. So she's in the sleeveless top. And she turns around and Edward does the same. He's taken off his sweater and he's just in his
sleeveless top.
top. But his is a bit different. She says his white shirt was sleeveless and he wore it unbuttoned so that the smooth white skin of his throat flowed uninterrupted over the marble contours of his chest. His perfect musculature no longer merely hinted at behind concealing clothes. So it's not just. So again, they continue to match, which I think Edward's also, like, there's little moments that make me think that Edward's also trying to make this moment as easy for Bella as possible. He's trying, like, they're taking it slow, they're just careful, or at least, well, Edward is. I don't think at this point Bella is she's not understanding how dangerous this is, being alone with him, and how dangerous this moment can be or could be. So, there's many moments like that where she notices that she should feel fear, or she should feel like she should walk away, but
she doesn't.
She doesn't. There's like she should feel scared. She should feel afraid, but she doesn't.
Something's stopping her.
Something's stopping her. So then they hike for a while, and then we finally reach the meadow.
Oh my gosh.
Which I highlighted the portion where she describes it, because I love this description. It seems so peaceful.
All right, read it.
On page 259, the end of chapter 12, she says, I reached the edge of the pool of light and stepped through the last fringe of ferns into the loveliest place I had ever seen. The meadow was small, perfectly round, and filled with wild flowers, violet, yellow, and soft white. Somewhere nearby I could hear the bubbling music of a stream. The sun was directly overhead, filling the circle with a haze of buttery sunshine, which is so completely opposite of her description when she first arrives in Forks. Rainy,
it's
cold,
too green.
It's too green. This one,
alien planet.
this time it's filled with sunshine, filled with beautiful colored flowers, and just so peaceful.
It's really showing how much she is grown in Forks and the appreciation she has for it now. Like, she's seeing it through new light.
Which we mentioned a little bit in the last episode, that Forks became like a home to her very quickly after she arrived, and she was no longer under
like that
the
influence of like Renee being like, oh, it's a terrible place, it's
right,
no sun, it's just awful. I felt trapped there. Bella does not feel trapped anymore.
Yeah. I love how I got the sense when I read this these last couple of pages of chapter 12.
Mm-hmm.
When she notices the light and knows that she's finally reached the area that he is wanting to show her, she picks up her pace and she's eager to get there and see everything, but Edward stops at the edge under still in the shade.
Mm-hmm.
Allows her to make her steps forward and see everything and take things in before he is going to bombard her with
His
really
vampireness.
the most like
He's ready for her to scream and run. Moment.
I even wrote, I imagine that Edward was preparing himself and her to finally see everything. Because this was when
how unhuman he is.
right. Because later on, we get going into chapter 13, obviously we get that first sentence of Edward and the Sun was
shocking.
He describes she describes his skin as white despite the faint flush from yesterday's hunting trip. Literally sparkled. Like thousands of tiny diamonds were embedded in the surface. And he's laying in the grass while she's sitting up. Like, I imagine she's cross-legged and just, like, looking at him. And he's just letting her, not moving, not doing anything. I think it even says, like, his eyes were closed at this point. Just letting everything, like, just letting her
take it all in.
Take it all in, yes. It's such, like, and then I'm reminded of the scene in the movie where it's after the whole I know what you are scene. They go to the meadow, and then you have that, like, bird's eye view that, like, zooms out.
Yeah.
As they're, like, they're laying in the grass looking at each other, and then it zooms out.
Yeah.
I kind of imagine that this is very similar to that. They're just still looking at each other, taking it all in for a minute. And, I was just like, you can tell everything about this scene. You can tell that this is, like, the defining moment. This is gonna do everything for them.
I mean, this is the dream. This is the moment. Oh my gosh, like.
And then we have, and then we move on. I want to move on to the, what I consider the I know what you are scene.
Yes.
Okay, it's not, like, it doesn't end with her saying, I know what you are, and him going, say it out loud.
Say it.
But it's got some of the same dialogue. Like,
yes, and it's really good.
So she has just made a, like, quick movement, which startled him a little bit, and he immediately was within seconds on the other side of the field, under that same tree that they came in through.
Just keeping distance, making sure he's in check.
Right, and so he gets things under control again. Yeah. And then he makes his way back to her and sits down, apologizes, and
I love his comment of, would you understand what I meant if I said I was only human?
I love that. She nods. I nodded once, not quite able to smile at his joke. Adrenaline pulsed through my veins as the realization of danger slowly sank in. So that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, there's these moments where she realizes that she should feel afraid.
Yeah.
But she doesn't.
Yeah.
You can tell, like, she can sense that there's danger there. She can sense that she should be afraid, but she's just not. And then you get the dialogue very similar to the movie. I'm the world's best predator. Everything about me invites you in. And then he goes on to say, as if you could outrun me. As if you could fight me off. And he shows these, like, he shows his strength by he circles the meadow in half a second. He shows his strength by effortlessly ripping a 2-foot thick branch from the trunk and throwing it he's literally showing her everything about who he is
That would terrify a normal
that should terrify.
human.
It's like there's still it adds more to that like defining moment scene. Like it shows you that this is just this scene here, these chapters are the defining moment of their relationship. This was the make it or break it moment. They were either going to be able to move forward and have a relationship, or it was gonna end badly. And it was all up to what was gonna happen here. Um there's also a moment that I connected to Breaking Dawn a little
Okay.
bit. And
Which moment?
I know we're not deep diving into that, but I wanted to
Just
hear
a
your
little pinpoint.
little
Like,
pinpoint. I wanted to get your thoughts on it.
okay.
It's on page 267 of um she they're sitting together, they're continuing to talk, continuing to have spend this day together.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe he has like a hand on her cheek, or she has her hand on his cheek or something. Somewhat they're touching at this point,
Okay.
and he can feel the warmth, and he's kind of saying it's the warmth that he feels from her hand is very pleasant to him. It's warm, obviously, and he just says that it's just a pleasant feeling to feel that
Yeah.
warmth. And I made a note of like how he must feel, like he must have felt when she finally became a vampire. There was like probably a mix of emotions there, like
Mm-hmm.
relief that she's alive, that she's
Alive in
alive,
some way.
that what he did worked, that
Yeah.
his that he was able to complete the transition.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a little sad to no longer feel that warmth in her.
Because they're the same temperature.
They're the same temperature now. So I always thought like that was like it reminded me of that bittersweet. It reminded me of that bittersweet moment because
Mm-hmm.
here he's like he feels the warmth. He enjoys the feeling that because it lets him know she's alive. And then in this moment, he's like, I never want to lose that warmth.
Mm-hmm.
As readers, we know that he does, and it's a bittersweet moment for them.
Well, okay. Going off of that, it just occurred to me that this, like, he says he goes here to, like, get away from everybody. He brought her to a space that is really his.
Yeah.
And it's like his own little island away from all the noise that he is constantly filled with. And it's just like we all talk about how like when they go to Isle Esme, he doesn't have to worry about hearing constant thoughts of other people. But this is the actual like moment where he doesn't have to. And it's so frustrating for him, but at the same time, how much peace must he be feeling at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have to constantly like
I don't have to
hear
hide.
someone else. This is amazing.
Yeah. He's able to kind of step away from the monotony of all of the human thoughts,
Yeah.
and then also he also doesn't have to hide anything
No.
himself. Like he's found a way to be able to show Bella everything about who he is and what he is.
Without feeling distracted by other things.
Exactly. Exactly.
Despite the fact that he hates that he cannot read her thoughts because she's such a hard person to read.
Yep.
Like the combined frustrated
Mm-hmm.
frustration and peace he's battling. It's just like there are these moments that it's like they're so much deeper when you reread them.
Mhm.
than you like than based on an initial read.
Yeah.
I just
There's
I really recommend rereading
I
books that
know,
you just
yes.
read for
You
these moments.
if you are as huge of a fan as Twilight as us, we both, like, I recommend it too. Rereading it when you can, whether it's an audiobook or physically taking your book and highlighting and making notes and doing and deep diving into it yourself. You find so many new things each time you read. There are things you overlook the first time that you catch the next time, and it's it's amazing. It really it really is really cool to just be able to reread a book you read before and realize you're noticing things the
Yeah,
next round and
like, and
e
you also get to like see like, oh, this is foreshadowing this, or that
exactly.
makes
A
so
lot
much
of moments
sense now, or like,
catch
oh
a
my
lot of
gosh, I didn't know that this like gets this is what the callback like
yeah,
is. Oh my gosh,
you catch those moments.
it's so good.
Yeah. So I've kind of jumped forward a little bit to page 274.
Okay.
I want to talk about The Lion and the Lamb.
Oh,
Love it. I love so good.
it's so cheesy,
It's
but
so
it's good cheese.
look, it's iconic, it's cheesy, it's sweet, it's cute, it's everything. Um,
I love. Okay, so like prep like going before this, can I just read from it? I just love how like they're finally like revealing how they are, how they feel, and you've got Bella being like, "I'm an idiot," and
I mean,
it's like it is like that when you first like have those feelings to someone. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot. It's like I don't even know how to react. I don't even know how to think because. And I just love Edward being like, you are an idiot. I don't know why. It just makes me laugh because it's like Edward Edward chivalry took a step back and he was just a teenager being like, yeah, you're an idiot.
yeah.
before this iconic line drop.
And so the lion fell in love with the lamb.
What a stupid lamb. What a sick, masochistic lion. So good.
There are a few really good quotes in here that went word for word from the book to the movie, and I love that this was one of them.
Yes.
One we had in the other episode, it was the good thing about Charlie is he doesn't hover.
Yes. It's like, yes, these are the important lines
Yeah.
that really like define characters and moments.
Yeah, I wonder like what the process is to decide like, oh, we want this word for word. Was it Stephanie on set saying this has to, or like
This
not
has to be
like
her.
in the writing process going, oh, that has to be word for word. We can't change a single word in that.
Which, thank you to
Thank
whoever was like, this is one of the things that needs to be there. Because, yes, it needed to be there.
mm-hmm.
I think I had, when I was younger, I think I had a necklace that said, what a stupid lamb, what a sick masochistic lion on like
Is it like the French?
either side, like medallion.
Oh, okay. Because I
It was
wondered if
like,
it's like the friendship type where like the two pieces met.
that would be cute.
They've never done that.
Like stupid lamb, masochistic lion, that would be cute.
No.
We're just dropping merch if anybody wants to pick this up.
Well, I mean, if we don't get around to it ourselves, I don't. I wouldn't even. Know
Let's just credit us.
I wouldn't even know where to start.
No.
Yeah. And to continue on, as always, we get some comedy, some really funny moments. My favorite in this scenario, in this scene, in this moment, is when they're getting ready to go, and he wants to show her how he travels.
Stop.
And she said, "You don't turn into a bat, do you?" And he goes, "Ha! Like, I haven't heard that one before." Which,
okay, but like, why is my immediate thought like Emmett? Being like, wait, we travel? Do I get to be a bat? That was my attempt at a bat flapping noise.
I'm back here flapping my arm. But yeah, like it's really cool because like now that quote, that funny moment means so much more now.
Yeah.
It did when she wrote it, because now like
there's not a lot of fictional vampires that do turn into bats anymore.
But like Robert Pattinson went from playing Edward a vampire to playing and so I was like, I remember, I will never forget, I was listening to another podcast that they were still airing around the time, they were still doing episodes around the time that Batman came out, and they were actually going through Twilight, and they got to that quote, and one of them said, "Not until 2020, or whenever that came out."
Not yet. Just wait.
That quote is so much. It's so funny. It's
so funny now.
It's funnier now.
It's a new layer of
comedy. Comedy, absolutely.
My favorite part of it is after they get back to the truck, after they travel.
The first kid.
And you have Bella locked on him still, and she's just like, I think I need to lie down. Waiting for her to get off, and she's like, I need help.
Yeah, I can't let go. I need you to.
I can't move. I'm so scared. And him being like, oh my gosh, you're as white as a ghost. Wait, as white as me. Which is, okay, like, growing up, I grew up in the North Midwest.
Huh.
We're very pale. And I always got asked if I was albino. Because I like did not go, I burn easily. So I like avoid the sun. I'm a vampire, guys. But I would get told I am so pale, like a ghost. And so this is just so funny. It's like, Edward, so in this case scenario, would I be as white as you? Or what?
Yeah. I love finding those comedic moments between the two of them, because again,
Edward is hilarious.
They are, and it gets lost in the art of filmmaking when watching, because you don't have a lot of those moments, because they keyed into Edward's, I don't want to say stiffness, but like just they keyed into the danger of being around Edward and how dangerous, tense it was for him to be around her, instead of the comedy of the two of them.
Well, I mean, this little bit of comedy does lead into a very pivotal moment in their relationship, where he says, I was thinking while I was running, and her being like, about not hitting the trees, I hope.
Yeah.
And him being like, no, I really want to try something. And we get
the first kiss.
Yes!
Which literally, like, knocks her out.
Yeah, like, she doesn't breathe the whole time. And then all of a sudden she attacks him. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I just love her. Oops. That's an understatement. And it's literally like the smallest kiss that could have happened.
Yeah. But it, like, I feel like all, that whole moment, all the whole scene in its entirety, the being in the meadow for the amount of time that they were, and
Mm.
having the conversations that they did and ending it the way that they did, it all just was pivotal for their relationship. It all, again, like, it was their defined the relationship moment. And now that they're through it, they know that as, together they can,
It's so
together
good.
they can make the relationship work. It was not going to be, I mean, it's not going to be easy by any means because you still have the danger of Edward being a vampire, but
Yes.
I mean, now that everything is out in the open and they know everything and they're prepared for things that
It's like he's got this huge weight that was taken off his shoulders.
exactly.
Like,
Right.
he's much more like, yes, he was sarcastic and funny, but I feel like there's a new layer of that comedy now that she's in on the joke.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes those moments so much more enjoyable.
I want to jump to when they're back at her house.
Okay, yes.
She invites
I agree.
him in, and this is when he finally reveals to her that for the last month he has been watching her sleep.
Edward.
She's
The
like,
amount of panic she has. What? You're spying on me?
and then you talk in your sleep.
Just the amount of mortification you can imagine
Mm-hmm.
on her face.
Yeah.
Oof.
She immediately says, she gasped, heat flooding my face all the way to my hairline. I gripped the kitchen counter for support. I knew I talked in my sleep, of course. My mother teased me about it. I hadn't thought it was something I needed to worry about here, though.
Are you mad at me? Well, that depends.
That depends on what you heard. With the way that conversation goes. Are you very angry with me? That depends. I felt and sounded like I'd had the breath knocked out of me.
Mm-hmm.
He waited. On here. What you heard, I wailed. So I imagine it's like what you heard.
What you heard? Either I have like mortally embarrassed myself to the point where I just want to lay down and let the ground swallow me, or you didn't hear anything too bad and I'm okay.
He then says, you miss your mother, he whispered. You worry about her, and when it rains, the sound makes you restless. You used to talk about home a lot, but it's less often now. Once you said it's too green,
Green.
I was softly hoping I could see not to have. He laughed softly, hoping I could see not to offend me further. Anything else? I demanded. You did say my name. So
A lot.
a lot. So we know that she's said his name a lot, which, like, we get those moments in Midnight Sun where he's about to leave and she speaks his name and he thinks that she's woken up.
She's awake and he's like, "Oh my god, I've been found out."
She's just saying his name in his sleep. But
like,
then it leads into this cute moment where he says, "Don't be self-conscious. If I could dream at all, it would be about you, and I'm not ashamed of it."
Stop.
Like, what?
Stop. Edward.
Cute. So cute.
So cute.
Yeah.
And then Charlie comes home.
Charlie comes home.
And I love how she is so, like, afraid of being found out what she's been up to. Afraid of Edward being caught in the house. She's so keyed up, and Charlie's like, this looks like a red flag. I need to go and make sure she can't leave. She can't sneak out.
Right.
He takes the spark.
Say that again. What is he doing?
She takes the spark plugs from her truck and sneak out because, of course, as a father, your child is keyed up. They've been doing something naughty, or they're planning on doing something naughty. We gotta make sure they can't get out. Like,
So, the same thing that Edward does in Eclipse, was it
Eclipse, yeah.
when so
Stop. I never even thought of that because it's not a thing in the movies. It's only in the book. I totally forgot. Oh my gosh. I would literally learn from Charlie how to stop Bella from going to see Jacob.
yes, because what happens? So she's been trying to call him, but of course, because he's already no,
Yeah.
because he doesn't approve. Jacob doesn't approve of Edward, obviously.
Yeah.
He hasn't been speaking to her, so she decides to go confront him, like go to the reservoir, confront him, but her car's not moving. And then Edward speeds into the car, and he's like, going to see Jacob. And did you do this to my car?
What did you do?
We find, like, again, it's not specified in the movie, but in the books, we know that he says, "I'll put these back in the morning so that you can drive to school if you would like."
You don't want me to pick you up.
And then I believe like we get the extended part of him saying, "If you don't want me
to come to your room, keep the window closed."
the window locked."
Oh my gosh.
Which then we get the whole like I'm shutting and locking, and then I'm thinking about it, and then
opening it back up. Fine.
Opening it back up for him.
I
love that. I love
the to me about this.
I love making connections. I think I overthink things a lot, and I make connections sometimes when connections aren't even there.
That's fair.
Because I love making those connections so much.
This is so funny. I can't believe that Edward learned.
Yeah. And we can't talk about this scene, this moment, especially chapter 14, without saying that it is my favorite chapter. I
Agreed.
always loved Mind Over Matter. And I was thinking about this earlier. I can't even tell you why. It's just always been my favorite because it's literally it's not even the meadow.
No.
They're back from the meadow. There's those, conversations in her home. He's staying over for the first time that she knows of.
Mm-hmm.
And then we know like the next morning they're going to decide to go to his house. His family house. So it's just like I guess it might be just the continuation of the conversations that they continue to have because they're still in that defining the relationship moment, and although they're past,
they've gone over the peak of it.
They've gone over the peak, and it's like almost kind of smooth sailing from here, not quite, but kind of.
Yeah, it's like they've hit that point in their relationship, and now it's the easy conversation that comes. It's like the honeymoon period.
One in particular that I love is it starts on page 299. Mm-hmm. It's right after the moment we just talked about where Charlie is all keyed up to her
attempt of sneaking out, possibly.
Right, possibly.
He's in dad mode.
She has, I believe, she has said goodnight. She makes a show of going to say goodnight to Charlie. And then
he's so surprised, like, oh my gosh, wait,
what? You are going to bed. Okay. And Edward, she goes back to her room, Edward's there, and he's like, he says, "What was all that for? All the, the whole show." "Oh, Charlie thinks I'm sneaking out." And she says, "Apparently I look a little overexcited." And he's again like he's he's kind of like using his his fingers and like touching her face and just kind of feeling the warmth as he was in the meadow. And she makes a comment. It seems to be much easier for you now to be close to me. And he says, does it seem that way? Does it seem that way to you? And she responds, much, much easier. And then Bella says, so I was wondering, why is that? Why is it easier for you? And this is where we get the title chapter. I felt the tremor of his breath on my neck as he laughed. Mind over matter. Love it. I love this chapter so much.
I do too. My favorite part is, they're talking about that, and he's like, it's going to be harder tomorrow. I've had the sun to be in my head all day, and I've grown amazingly desensitized. If I'm away from you for any length of time, I'll have to start over again. Not quite from scratch, though, I think. And she's just like, don't go away then.
Yeah.
And he's like, throwing on the shackles then. Let's do it.
Yeah, we don't go. And so we get, they're not that night. She falls asleep. He's watching her again. And we get your favorite moment when she's awoken and it is breakfast time.
Oh my gosh, I flippin' love this.
I'm gonna let you take it from here because you love that scene so much.
Alright, okay. Oh my gosh. I gotta find it.
I mean, it is probably one of the better Bella Bella comedy moments.
Such a funny Bella moment. Like,
her reactions, the joke that she put on him, it is so funny. And it's really what kicked off let's find these funny moments from her. Because there's so many.
Oh my gosh. Like, she's so hilarious. Oh gosh. I'm okay, we're in the next chapter. That's where it is.
Yeah, so we're now in chapter 15.
I got it.
Has gotten up. She's gone to the bathroom to have her human moment and gotten ready.
I love that she has to ask for human moments.
Yeah.
Like, how self-conscious of a human when you've got this immortal who can literally hear, smell, everything. Like, I would not be able to be a human. Be like, well, if you're not going to be a human, I'm just not going to be a human, and it's fine.
Before we go on to Bella's comedy moment, on 314, we have to talk about the first "I love you." It's so cute because,
do you want to read it?
So she realizes, yes, sure. So she realizes that he is in different clothes. Yeah.
Like, how dare you leave? Excuse you.
And so she's like, you left. You left. You left? I accused, touching the collar of his fresh shirt. I could hardly leave in the clothes I came in. What would the neighbors think? I pouted. You were very deeply asleep. I didn't miss anything. His eyes gleamed. The talking came earlier. I groaned. What did I say? What did you hear? His gold eyes grew very soft. You said you loved me. You already knew that, I reminded him, ducking my head. It was nice to hear just the same. I hid my face against his shoulder. I love you, I whispered. You are my life now, he answered simply. There was nothing more to say for the moment. He rocked us back and forth as the room grew lighter. And then we have your favorite moment.
It's so... the way that it's just so cute.
It is.
Like his soft little, you said you loved me.
You said you loved me.
You already knew that. It's nice to hear. Edward, what a cutie.
And yeah, I mean, there's so many of those moments though that are just like, oh, this is so cute.
Oh, my heart. Like this is like
yeah,
this was the stop.
My heart moment.
It's like, so cute.
Yeah, absolutely. Which then that leads us into your favorite moment.
This is the best comedy moment. You got Bella. She's sitting up. We've got grumblies and our tumblies.
He's hungry.
And breakfast time, he said eventually, casually, to prove I'm sure that he remembered all my human frailties. So I clutched my throat with both hands and stared at him with wide eyes. Shock crossed his face. Kidding, I snickered, and you said I couldn't act. He frowned in disgust. That wasn't funny. It was very funny, and you know it. But I examined his gold eyes carefully to make sure that I was forgiven. Apparently I was. Shall I rephrase, he asked. Breakfast time for the human. Oh, okay. And then he literally carries her downstairs.
Throws her over his shoulder.
Which
Very
is
cute.
so cute.
Then we get the what's for breakfast? I asked pleasantly. That threw him for a minute. I'm not sure. What would you like? His double brow puckered. I grinned, hopping up. It's all right. I fend for myself pretty well. Watch me hunt.
I love how our hunting is just for a bowl of cereal. Like, Bella.
We also get her like politeness. Can I get you anything? He just
like,
you just rolled.
What are you gonna do, Bella? Open a vein? Get a cup?
Do you need me to open a vein for you? Here's my ring. Do you need
do this?
And then they talk about
what's on the agenda for the day.
And that leads them to decide to go to the Cullens house, which takes
infamous Cullen house. Oh my goodness!
Which takes us into the next chapter. So, is there anything else?
Yeah, we're gonna stop right there because the Cullens need their own chapter.
Their own chapter. So, keep listening for a future episode all about the Cullens, where we break down all the Cullen characters. But before we go, is there anything else that you wanted to touch on?
I love these chapters so much. I love seeing the uncertainty at the beginning of it, being like, okay, we're ebbing into it, we're there, we're hitting our peak, and then smooth sailing. Look at how cute we are. We're being so adorable.
I love how we go from, like you said, the uncertainty of what's going to happen to we've got this kind of moment, kind of feeling.
And it's like, we can make this work.
We can. Absolutely.
In some weird way, it can work.
Yeah. I love it. It's
so good.
Each
Mind Over the Matter is,
Mind Over Matter. It is like I said, it is my favorite chapter. It is what I want my Twilight tattoo to revolve around. I just don't know what it would be.
We can brainstorm.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Have a wonderful day, night, wherever you may be.
Bye.